Amy Parsons, CEO and founder of Mozzafiato. Welcome on the Business Brief.
Thanks, Ryan. I'm excited to be here.
Now, you're a retailer that imports and represents all Italian brands and products in the categories of beauty, skincare, bath and body, men's grooming, fragrance, and home. Most people are familiar with stores like Sephora and Ulta that carry hundreds of different beauty brands under one roof. What makes Mozzafiato different?
Well, thanks for asking, Ryan. First of all, we're headquartered right here in Colorado, so that makes us very different. And second of all, like you said, all of our brands are Italian heritage brands. They are founded in Italy, made in Italy. Some of these are legendary brands that have been in production for centuries. Some of them are newer, around for decades, but all of them have that Italian style, that heritage, that story, and that high performance that people are really used to from Italy. You know, a lot of people know that Italy produces the majority of the world's prestige cosmetics and beauty brands from all over the world. But really what the secret is that Italy has dozens of homegrown, small niche, heritage Italian beauty brands and grooming brands that have been in production by the same families for centuries. And many of these have been virtually unknown outside of Italy, unavailable in the US. And that's what we set out to change. There's no other collection like this where we have found and curated the collection and imported them to the US so people can find and discover these amazing brands for themselves.
You know, what I find is absolutely amazing, and perhaps I shouldn't at this point, is that companies like yours, Amy, were conceived and created and launched during the height of COVID in 2020. Now, I can appreciate that Americans love Italy, so you have that going for you, but what was that like, and what unique challenges did you face given the difficult circumstances of the pandemic?
Ryan, you're right. We conceived of and launched this company all during COVID, and it was just a completely unique set of both opportunities and challenges all mixed in together. I would say on the opportunities side, as you might remember, Italy was actually struck by COVID a few months before the US. They were hit rather severely and early and went into lockdown a few months before we were. So by the time we were home and I was home and thinking about now might be the time to get really serious about this business concept and see if I can make a go of it, the Italian companies were already home with stores closed. They were starting to get used to doing business by Zoom. And it was almost as though, not just Italy, but around the world, a lot of companies were forced into this sort of simultaneous innovation mindset, this mindset of we might need to start thinking about new ideas, going into new markets, going deeper into online sales. Some of these brands were not online until now. So when we reached out to them, they were open to our pitch and having the conversation about, is now the right time to go into the US market? Is now the right time to join forces with other Italian heritage brands and go into this market together? And as we proceeded through the summer of 2020, we were working with the Italian Trade Commission to help us research and get in touch with these companies. By the fall of 2020, all of them had said yes and were willing to go with us on this venture into the US. So the COVID circumstances, I think, actually allowed us to perhaps move faster and be in a more innovative mindset with these companies to launch this, to launch Mozzafiato together. But I will say on the challenges side really were the logistics. As you know, in this time, there were just not enough planes in the air between the US and Europe. So to be able to ship product, to get it to the warehouse in Italy, to get it into our warehouse here in the US, and then out distributed to customers was much more expensive than it would have been in normal times, and much more of a challenge. We're starting to see that ease now, and hopefully that will continue to ease as we move forward. But all of these very unique challenges and opportunities were kind of a once in a lifetime constellation of circumstances that I think have really aided us in a quick launch of this company.
The US beauty industry is humongous, Amy, by some estimates, nearly $600 billion, and a tremendously highly competitive market. As you said before, you're a Colorado-based small business startup. I tell people all the time to shop small and shop local. What does it take for you to succeed in what some might consider a David versus Goliath dynamic?
Well, Ryan, you are absolutely right. The beauty industry in the US is enormous. It is the largest beauty market in the world. And it is absolutely dominated by the Goliaths that everybody knows, the Amazon and Target, Sephora and Ulta. And these are massive retailers with thousands of brands and thousands of products. And these retailers really thrive on what's new, what's trending, new lines, new products. A lot are celebrity driven, influencer driven lines, constantly feeding that what's new and now and next in these retailers. Our business proposition, we're banking on, while there's a huge appetite for what those retailers are delivering, we're banking on the fact that we think there are people who really have an appetite for the opposite of that retail experience, an appetite for craft products, for products that come with families and stories in place. All of our brands are real families and places that you can go and visit in Italy. You can walk into their stores, you can visit with the families, you can actually see where they're producing their fragrances and know that they've been at their craft for, some of them for 400 years plus, perfecting their craft. That's a very different proposition than what you're going to get off the shelf at one of these other giant retailers. But of course, our challenge is visibility, is getting people to know that there is an alternative to those giant retailers. And that's a major challenge. Our products are basically the same price point as those large retailers. And our products really speak for themselves. So our battle is in visibility and getting people to know that there is an alternative, that there are other brands and other products and another way to procure them. And that's really where we succeed. So hopefully our Colorado community will hear us and get behind us. And also people, like you said, who love Italy. They've traveled to Italy. They have Italian heritage. They just love Italian goods. Maybe it's wine or cars or fashion or food, but they've got some affection for Italy. And that is also what we produce with our brands in the US. So we're hoping that people will find us, and that'll be our way in to take on some of these Goliaths.
We all got some love for Italy. Amy, now I'd imagine it's a common misconception that your business would be highly dependent on women shoppers. It's absolutely fascinating to me that nearly 50% of your customer base is men. Tell us more and why that is.
Yes, that's such a great question, Ryan. That's been a great surprise for us that actually 50% of our customers are men. And I think a few reasons for that. We talked about the large beauty retailers. They really don't cater to men. The Sephoras and the Ultas do not really cater toward a male client. And so there are very few options for men who are looking for everything from shaving to cologne to their toothpaste to their soaps and all of those things under one roof. And that's really what we bring forward. So we've got the collection for men to be able to come in and shop across all of their needs in one place. But in addition to that, I think that men really gravitate toward that Italian male culture. Italy really perfected the culture of the barbershop for hundreds and hundreds of years. The barbershop culture in Italy is world known. It's where men go for community, for finding their products, for really focusing on themselves and their what they call gentleman grooming. And I think that American men especially really like the coolness of that culture and how great those products are and the feel of them. So to be able to bring a little piece of that culture into the US. And I tell you, we just brought on a new brand that's focused on products for men. We're in discussions with yet another barbershop brand out of Milan to bring the products to the US. And both of those were the result of male customers emailing me saying, hey, Amy, I'm glad I found all these brands. By the way, there's this brand I found in Milan. I loved it. I've always wanted to buy it. Can you look into it? And we look into it and we love it. And sure enough, we're incorporating it into the collection. So working with the men and bringing these products to the US has been just an absolute joy. And So, Ryan, you'd be a great customer. You let me know if you need any product recommendations.
I definitely got to stop by. Amy, I got to ask you one last thing. In the 30 seconds we have less, you are an attorney, a former senior executive at a large university, now a small business and entrepreneur. For our viewers out there who are looking at you and who are wondering what drives you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, what would you say?
Oh, Ryan, that's a tough question. I think that, my whole life I've wanted to start and create something brand new from scratch. And I've had a 20-year career as an attorney and a university executive, just gaining experience and experience and experience. And now I'm really just driven to try to see what I can make from all that experience on something that is really true to myself, and something that I'm extremely passionate about. So this really is my chance to do that.
Well, I think we share that. As a small business owner and entrepreneur myself, there's something to pursuing your passions and the things that make you fulfilled in life. Amy Parsons with Mozzafiato, thank you for coming on the Business Brief.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Enjoyed it.
And we will cut.